really, this is about changing your story and changing your life, right? You've probably heard this idea before that we are our beliefs, and what we believe ultimately impacts what we do. You might even be familiar with Tony Robbins, and he talks about how you have three things: you have a story, strategy, and state. Story is our beliefs and what we tell ourselves. Your strategy is the action that you're going to take, the technique, right, that you're going to do in order to achieve whatever goal you want. And the state is how you feel in any given moment. Now, before we dive into this, I'm going to alert the group that we're live. We're going to dive all the way in. Molly says, "Hey, what's up? Good to see you." Let's say last day of the challenge. Share your takeaways. Let's do it. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let's dive in. So the most important thing when we're thinking about story is story dictates really whether or not you have the motivation or even the ability to achieve the thing you want to achieve. And when I say ability, I don't necessarily mean, I guess ability is not the best word. What I'm really talking about is whether or not you are motivated enough to take the action. That's maybe not the exact right word, but I'll give you an example. So for me, I've been trying for the longest time to start cardio. And what I mean by that, obviously it wouldn't be that hard to like go for a walk, but I've been wanting to increase my cardio for a while, but it just hasn't come naturally. So I keep telling myself, oh man, I want to start running again. I want to start doing these things, but it doesn't happen. So I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm going to do in order to break through and make it so that I always do cardio from here. So the story that I've been telling myself about cardio is that, yeah, it's going to help me with longevity, and it's going to help my ability to be able to, uh, uh, let's say, exercise better, which it's not really that clear. It's not really that exciting. There's really nothing there that pulls me to this. So the story I have around cardio isn't really an empowering one. And our stories are either empowering us or disempowering us. So the story that I've had so far has been very just bleh. So I created a story recently that I think is going to propel me towards exercise, or sorry, not exercise, towards cardio. And that is that I only have so many heartbeats. And it's funny because we all have a fundamental belief system, but on top of that are the stories we tell ourselves. So I believe that to a degree, we only have so many heartbeats. And I think I did the math, and I looked on Google, and it was like we have 2.5 billion heartbeats, which is insane to think about. 2.5 billion. So if I do, let's say, if I have average cardio, if I do average cardio, my resting beats per minute is about 75. I can probably reduce my resting heart rate to like 65. And if I do that, that means that I could potentially live 15% longer. So that's 6.5 years longer simply by doing cardio consistently. Okay, cool. Now we're getting somewhere because I can actually put a tangible number to doing cardio. Because again, clarity is what leads to motivation. So if I say, oh man, I want to be able to do more cardio to live longer. Cool. What does that mean? There's no emotion there. And we're going to dive more into the emotion here. But okay, cool. If I exercise and do my cardio, I can potentially live 15% longer. Okay, cool. If I get elite cardio, I can reduce my average beats from 75 to 55. Okay, now this is getting cool because I could live 30% longer, 13 years longer simply by doing cardio consistently on an elite level. Now, this is where it gets into the emotion. That math on its own doesn't really motivate me that much. It gets me more motivated than live longer. But what really gets me motivated is this is the difference between watching my son turn 45 and getting to watch him turn 58. This could be the difference between watching my grandson turn 15 and getting to watch him turn 28. Assuming retirement at 60, this would be the difference between experiencing 15 years of retirement and 28 years of retirement. Double the retirement. Okay, that's starting to become an empowering story. That's starting to become something that I'm pulled towards, because it's not just about, quote, live longer, but I feel the connection to wanting to see my son have a son that potentially has a son before I die. So that's the story. But with that in mind, okay, I'm feeling pretty compelled by that story. What's my strategy? Of course, I could just start exercising or start doing my cardio, and maybe I'm going to start doing, I don't know, 30-minute runs or a mile run every day or whatever it is. And I might be hot off the start, but the problem with that is that's painful, right? Human nature is always going to be moving away from pain and moving towards pleasure. And that's probably going to be too painful for me to start. I'm already exercising on top of that, doing my weight training. It's probably going to be too much. So what does that mean? Well, probably means I should start slower. So one of the strategies that I would put into place is minimizing pain by doing shorter times. So week one, I might say, and this is it, this is what I'm going to do. This isn't hypothetical. This is actually happening starting this week, because I'm just not doing my cardio the way I should. After every weight training workout, it's non-negotiable, 2 minutes. Even if I'm running late, I can do 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes, whatever. 2 minutes on the treadmill, 2 minutes on the not treadmill. I'm not a big fan of the treadmill. Stairmaster, whatever, right? 2 minutes of cardio. So that's strategy one, is shorter times. The second strategy I'm putting into place is habit stacking. Habit stacking is when you put a habit connected to a habit that's already existing. So you're putting a new action, cardio for me, to an action that you already do consistently, right? So I work out consistently for me every 5 times a week. So like I don't need to use willpower to work out for those times, but it would require willpower to do the cardio. So that's my answer. I'm habit stacking it, right? So that's 2 strategies. Another strategy I'm putting into place is variety. So this will increase my pleasure. If I always just have to walk on the treadmill or do a Stairmaster every time, I'll get bored. So one of the strategies to increase pleasure or even just reduce pain is variety. So I can do things like the Stairmaster, running, simple supersets, which would be, different types of movements that I'm just stacking back to back. I can do kickboxing. I grew up doing martial arts. I actually did some of that today. I could jump rope, whatever. The other thing I can do to increase pleasure is I can write it down on a tracker on my phone, or I can even have something on my refrigerator where I have a little gold star that I put it on there. For me, I'm fine with the tracker on my phone. That's good enough. So all of these things comprise the strategy. Another strategy I had in place to increase pleasure was call a friend while I do it. And I think that could have been cool. Call a friend while I do the cardio. But essentially the idea is just to stack. So week one, I'm going to be doing 2 minutes after every strength training workout. The next week I'll be doing 4 minutes, then 6. And I want to build up to about 2.5 hours of cardio, like strictly cardio, not weight training, per week. And that's my strategy to do it. So maybe that bores you to tears, maybe it doesn't, but that's something that for me is going to be, I think, really impactful. And we talked already about our habit series before, talking about small actions, but we got 11 people here on Facebook. We got some people on Instagram and TikTok too. What I'd love to know is, for those of you who are here now, feel free to say hey in the chat. I'd love to be able to say hey. And then also, what was your biggest takeaway from the challenge? A lot of you that just got alerted that we were live were in the challenge. What's been your biggest takeaway for the challenge? I'd love to know. And let me try to access it too, because how do I get back to that? Oh, comments. There we go. I see. Hey y'all, this is Shirley. Hey Shirley, scary to think about. Hey Ryan, hey there. Great idea. Baby steps. Great ideas. I love habit stacking. Great books about that. Yeah, a big part of actually our coaching is Atomic Habits. So really quick, if you want a big part of our program and you want to apply the same systems that we use, it's a lot of it is Atomic Habits. I highly recommend. And then of course there's a culmination of a bunch of things, but like Atomic Habits is so foundational to what we do. So love the support of this group. Happy to have you. Better sleep habits. I love it. Honestly, I was sick for 10 days and didn't put effort in anything. That's okay. You can still do the challenge. You can do this challenge and just do it on your own, right? And we'll have some others as well. Some other challenges. Won't be the last one. Great idea. Talking to a friend doing cardio makes it time go faster. Yeah, like there's no reason per se that we have to be doing things that uh, like are painful for the sake of the pain. Like I said before, you've probably heard me say discipline is a lie. It doesn't exist. People want to say like, oh, you got to be disciplined, you got to want it, you got to blah blah blah. But the fact of the matter is, our brain is always going to move towards pleasure and move away from pain. So every action that we do over time, if we want it to be consistent, has to be in line with that. And even the David Goggins out there that you know, like you're thinking to yourself, there's no way he can enjoy that. On some level, he does. And it could be the significance he gets from being the guy that pushes through no matter what. So we are always working in line with human nature. Sleep, protein, and exercise, Atomic Habits. Let's go. I love it. What else? What else did you guys get from the challenge? I want to read some of these too, because I saw these come up yesterday, and I wanted to share some of them because I thought that they were really powerful. I really like these. Let me just share. Let me go to a different style here. There we go. So where were we yesterday? I'd asked in the group, what were some of your biggest takeaways from the challenge? And there it is. So I'd said, today is not about exercise or doing more. It's an opportunity to think and do less, and then to get more. As a comeback challenge comes to a close, we go into another week. What will you take away from this week to get more fit, healthier, and sustainable plan for you personally, based on what you are in reference to your goals? Oh, where you are, my bad. Based on where you are in reference to your goals and where you are emotionally today. Pick one thing, stack weekly, go slow. Imagine in a year you had 52 fit habits that you didn't have today. What you'd have is a whole new life, right? So what will you focus on this coming week? And then that was my son. And we had some really good answers that I wanted to share. And if you didn't post here yet, feel free to just share now and I'll read yours. Chrissy said, today marks 4 consecutive weeks of my hubby and I going to the gym twice a week. That's freaking awesome. I'm super proud of this milestone, and moving forward, I'd like to add a core focus workout 3 to 4 times a week. Cool. Also switching to focusing on protein intake and less on carb counting. Definitely feel better when my blood sugars are more stable. Keep going, everyone. Think of your future self as an example you're setting for your kids. Totally true. One thing I would mention too, and maybe you're looking for this, maybe you're not. I'd be curious why you're looking for a core focused workout. And if it's for performance reasons, I would say, hell yeah, do it. But a lot of people do core focused workouts because they want a flat stomach. And the truth is that what will get you a flat stomach, what will get you a flat stomach is two-pronged, right? The first one is going to be obviously losing the belly fat on top. The second thing to get a flat stomach is to be doing core focused workouts, but not in the way that you might think. So building the muscle won't necessarily get you a flat stomach. What will is stomach control or core control. What do I mean by that? Well, you're probably familiar with Pilates, right? The idea of Pilates. With Pilates, a main principle is lengthening, right? Lengthening is strengthening. So, for example, if I stand here in this position and I'm totally relaxed, right? You can see a little tummy. But when I'm tall and I'm in a good position, the stomach is flat, right? I didn't lose, and if you were to measure me, I would have lost 3 inches. I didn't lose any inches. I'm just bringing it in. So one of the best things, little hack for any core workout that you do, is focus on drawing your belly button into your spine and then flex. Belly button in, then flex. And what will happen is you'll start training your body to be in this upright, tall position, and naturally it will appear like your waist is thinner when you actually didn't lose any fat. So you can lose the fat on top, that'd be great. But just a little note for core workouts and stuff. You can get a lot more from your workouts just by bringing everything in, which is great. I love it. Some comments also I just saw come in as well. Man, I can't see names. I'll have to go in. I love it when my friend can actually meet up for cardio. We go to the gym together when possible. Can't wait for spring and getting outside to walk again. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of we're actually going to walk today, go outside and just bundle up. It's a little windy, so we're going to have to bundle up good. Take my dog on a trail walk, and my son and my wife. We're all going to go together, but mainly for my dog. Hey all, at age 66, weight loss is slow, but seeing my clothes fit better and doing exercise classes 5 times a week has motivated me to lose 15 pounds before swimsuit season. Stick with it, everyone. Good luck. Good, awesome job. Great post. Awesome. How do we buy one of your t-shirts? So they're not for sale. It's funny. Is that Lisa? Did Lisa just message? Because I got a question the other day. Yeah, asking about where you guys can buy these t-shirts. They're not for sale. We have the I have them, and then I like our teams have them, our coaches, our enrollment coaches, and then we send them to our clients when they sign up as a gift in like water bottles and stuff. But maybe I could figure out like create a store for it. I don't know, like online. I'm saying, I don't know. I'll try to figure it out. But if you really want one, just send me your address, and I guess I could send you one. All right, it is nice. Focus on sleep and getting my daily protein intake along with enough water has helped me not binge eat junk food at night. That's awesome. I'm thrilled to hear that. Thank you for taking the time to connect with us. I look forward. I'll be looking more into your materials. Awesome. Yeah, the best material that I recommend everyone starts with is the all new 12-week Arm Body Breakthrough Blueprint, and I'll show that to you really fast. So, a lot of you probably have already seen this, but I've said in the past that this is the document that if I couldn't give my mom, like if I couldn't coach my mom again, for those of you who don't know that story, when I was 16 years old, I coached my mom. And that's a funny story. She gained weight when I was working with her in the beginning, but I'll tell you that story after. So this is the document I would give my mom if I couldn't coach her, but I had to, or I wanted her to have the highest likelihood of breaking through to lose weight and sustain it forever. Because when you think about the word breakthrough, the reason this isn't called just like, transformation, like breakthrough, the word breakthrough in my head means like shatter the glass ceiling. Once you do that, you never go back. Like when you really have a breakthrough, you never go back. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's why a lot of this, like the first 10 pages are all on psychology and like human needs and all that other stuff before it dives into more of the, like even just what we do with coaching and whatnot. And again, more mindset. We're on page 16 and it's still all mindset. And then it dives into application, page 17, with like, hey, here's like weekly goals that you can shoot for that I'd recommend to give yourself a 12-week outlook. Here's some workouts. Here are the workout principles, blah, 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 blah. Nutrition, meal plans are at the bottom over here, some meal plans and stuff. But yeah, that's where I'd recommend you start for materials. And you can do that obviously, totally for free. It's all you. Wow, what else? It's 15 degrees here today. Yeah, it's cold here too. Like, I think it's like, I don't know, maybe it's not 15. It might be like 40 here. I'm not 100%. They'd sell great. Maybe we can try it. Thank you for the info on the blueprint. Yeah, no problem. I can here, let me post that in here too. I'm on my wife logged into my computer, so she's it's gonna come from her. Yeah, so from Beatrice Clark. My wife's name is Bea. I just posted it in the comments below, so you can see it there. Learning about protein and how to actually get it in. It's so much easier now. I'm definitely going to be sticking with this. And now I have got Andy, my husband, involved. Yes, I want a shirt. You guys are awesome. I love it. It'll be so fun. We could do a big meetup. It'd be great. We'll do a twice a year meetup, right? We'll get some workouts in, we'll have a good time, and we'll all wear our shirts. That's great. You guys are tough going out in the cold. I'm not tough at all. It's more of like, I just know it's really good for my dog, Snoopy, who, if you guys have seen him, he's the cutest dog ever. We're in the middle of a snowstorm. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, and I'm up in Massachusetts. No snowstorm happening right now. I am wearing your shirt. Let's go. You're wearing my shirt or this shirt? Or like, I don't know how you got one of my shirts if you came in my closet. Or no, maybe you did. Oh, Thomas is wearing the shirt. Hell yeah. I love to see it. Let's read over some of these other ones as well. Let's go back to this. Oh, Where is it? Hold on one sec. It takes me a second to navigate. Boom. Okay, let's go back to that post. See if I can impart any help. Kylie says, so cute, those rosy cheeks. I think she's talking about my son. Yeah, okay, I'm not in that photo. My takeaway this week is that it's okay to start slow. It's okay to start with one change, not everything all at once. I realized through this week that I have set myself up to fail in the past because I have changed everything at once and then can't keep up with all the change. So I quit. Not anymore. Yes, I will have setbacks. We are human, but I will push through. Thank you for this week. Let's freaking go. That's what I'm talking about, right? That's a new story. That's a story, right? Like, so the story that we tell ourselves, sometimes we're not even aware of. And like one of those stories is that to get fit, I have to go all or nothing. To get fit, this is what I have to do. And a lot of the forces that control us are invisible, and stories are one of those things, right? Our beliefs in our stories. So Kylie, I'm thrilled to hear that. Yeah, I mean, look, we all know it's not about what you do this week or even this month. It's about what you're still doing a year or two from now. And the way that you set yourself up a year or two from now is by these gradual changes. It's the key. Way to go, Kylie. Proud of you. I love it. Crystal says, yay, my kiddos built a snowman. Oh, this week has been so awesome. Honestly, I feel really good about it. My one takeaway is keep moving, keep up my activity levels, and hit the movement goals I've set for myself. That's amazing. Keep it up. You got it, Crystal. Lori says, so precious. I've learned so much this past week. Most important thing is to never give up. I'm so worth it. I'll continue to work on getting my protein numbers up and increase my daily movement. Thank you so much, Ryan. My pleasure. I'm thrilled to hear it. I would say, when it comes to reinforcing that self-worth, reinforcing the mindset around, just, I guess you could say self-worth, self-esteem, it's all about input. Right? We've talked about it already. We have input, thinking, action, results. It always goes back to the beginning of the equation, right? What is the input that we're getting in on a daily basis? What is the input? And if you want to change your life, you change your input to start, right? Change your input, which will change your thinking. And then that's where you can change everything else. You can change your stories. You can change your actions. So if anyone's out there and they're listening and thinking about, hey, how can I increase my self-esteem or my feeling of self-worth, you just need to hear it a lot. You need repetition. Because right now we all have a record player that's playing in our brain. And usually it's just been playing what it's always been playing since we were young. So what we need to do is be able to give it new input so that it can change. What's the best way? Well, this is input. Right now, as you're listening to me and you're hearing that no matter where you've been in the past, no matter what you've experienced, no matter how many times you've tried and failed to be able to transform your body, that you can. And every time you failed, it wasn't you that failed the program, but it was the program that failed you. Because sometimes when we try to go all in, when we're already exhausted, when life's already crazy, it's probably not going to work. But if we could just start with the goal of starting and never stopping again, it wouldn't matter how slow we start. And then slowly you would start to accumulate evidence that, hey, I can be this person. I can exercise consistently. I can eat well. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And then before you know it, you create the identity. Which, if we're thinking about the end goal, the strongest force in the human personality is staying consistent with the way we see ourselves. If you want to be able to start these habits and never stop again, build the identity. The only thing is identity takes time to build. It's not overnight. So this is input, right? So take this, listen to it. Like, man, you guys remember Walkmans? I might be dating myself a little bit. So I had a Sony Walkman when I was in 6th grade. And I had a CD of Zig Ziglar, and it was one of his motivational tapes. It was called Born to Win. And I remember I listened to that thing hundreds of times. And I remember how it would start. It would always be him in his Southern accent, and he would say, "You're born to win. You are endowed with the seeds of greatness." And this is me listening at the time. I was a 6th grader with like no self-esteem and didn't think very highly of myself at all. And I remember thinking to myself, man, if he knew I would have been listening, he wouldn't have said that. That's how low I was. And then I remember something distinctly because I listened to it every day. And I don't remember if it was a month in or a year in. I really don't know. But I remember when he said that, you were endowed with the seeds of greatness. You were born to win. I remember thinking to myself, maybe he's right. And that's all it took. Going from a no to a maybe. It was almost like the metaphorical wedge into my psyche where the rest was history. And yes, I probably went too far into believing in myself to the point that I developed an ego. I don't think I have it now, but you could tell me. I don't know. I feel like my wife would keep me in check. But yeah, this is input. So, just like I listened to that 100,000 times, if you find one of these podcasts that you really resonate with, you can listen to that 100,000 times. Or you find something on YouTube that you just like, oh, it hits you hard, it hits you good. Just listen to it. Listen to it every day, right? Because you need it every day. Remember, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. Just because you know something intellectually doesn't mean we experience it, doesn't mean we embody it. And if you want to be able to transform your life, you have to embody these beliefs. You can't just know them rationally, right? Good stuff. Let's keep going. I saw some comments come in. Your son's adorable. Thank you. They're calling for an ice storm today. Oh no! Quick, go to the gym before it comes. I'll be reading Tiny Habits on my stationary bike today. Hell yeah! I think they have a podcast too, so you can listen to it if you get any type of motion sickness. We're listening. I love it. I need to ride my indoor bike more often. I'd love to get a treadmill, but some are so expensive. Yeah, I mean that's the cool thing about cardio. Like you can just body weight it. And I will say, cost wise, one of the best things is Facebook Marketplace. Actually, this is a big plug for Facebook Marketplace. A lot of the furniture, maybe not a lot, but some of the furniture I have in my house is Facebook Marketplace, and I love it. So like, I have our dining room table, which I think retails for like, I don't know, $800 or something. It's like a really nice wooden, like solid table. I got it for like $100 on Marketplace, and it's great. Like, do you want to buy your mattress from Marketplace? Probably not. But can you buy like a stationary bike? Yeah, and you can probably get it for like a tenth of the value. So just something to think about. You can get like some really good deals there. Can't you tell I have Facebook stock? No, I'm just kidding. I live in Palm Springs, so walking is easy. It just wasn't enough for my body. Yeah, I mean, once you get comfortable at a certain intensity, you can increase it, right? You can go to slow jogging, go to running, do interval training. There's a lot of things we can do, a ton. Thanks for making us feel welcome and for doing your work. I rarely join live calls, but this is so appreciated. Of course, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to serve. I know that the majority of people in this group will never become clients of ours, and that's okay, because regardless of whether or not you become a client of ours, our mission remains the same. Our mission is to help as many people as possible have physical and mental breakthroughs. A breakthrough is when you essentially shatter the glass ceiling and you never go back. So it's almost like seeing, I don't know what it's called, seeing the light for the first time. I don't know, but pretty much you shatter the glass ceiling. So, it's my mission. I want to help, whether you're a client or not, help you have these breakthroughs. If you do feel like you need more of a one-on-one approach and you want somebody with you in your corner to help you navigate all of the ups and downs of this experience emotionally, and then also to have just structure, like cool. And those are people we work with, and it's great. And, we love our clients. I think we have right now, between all of our coaches, about 150, 155 clients. And, I'm very fortunate to be able to be doing this 16 years later. Been a coach for 16 years. I'm dating myself again. but yeah, like it's a pleasure. So I really appreciate it. This is truly the thing I would do if I didn't need money. I would just keep doing what I'm doing. I would make these lives, and I would just like try to produce and try to help people have breakthroughs. And the coaching is just, I guess, the next level up for that, for people that want it. I don't have very good workout habits, need to develop them. Yeah, so just like we said earlier, best way to develop habits is habit stacking. Choose an action, um, the action that you want to start with, make it small. So like whether it's walking on the treadmill so let's say you want to start exercising and you're starting at a pretty sedentary living state, I'd recommend just start walking. If you don't have a treadmill, you do it outside, whatever. Do 2 minutes. That's it. Make it daily so that it becomes a habit. If 2 minutes is too much, make it 1 minute, whatever it is. Make it so simple and attach it to a habit you already do. For example, if you eat dinner every night, which I'm sure you do, attach it right at the end of dinner. So before you start cleaning up, go on your walk, right? And then before you know it, you will be built up to as much cardio as you want, which is great. And then leverage make it low pain, make it high pleasure. We could talk more about that stuff, but I have other videos about it too. Thanks for the treadmill tip. I checked Marketplace today. Hell yeah. Nice. What do you think about Total Gym? Was looking at it at Marketplace, and Total Gym, my mom had a Total Gym. I remember when I was a kid, and it's kind of just gimmicky. Unless they've changed it. The Total Gym I'm remembering is the thing on the slide, right? So it's like it's got those two cables and the slide. You can like hit everything. You can hit everything. The challenge that you're going to look into is there's no progressive overload, meaning that you can't increase weight over time, and because of that, the only way that you could potentially have a progressive overload is by increasing the reps. But like eventually, your reps are just going to get into the 30s, 40s, 50s, and it's just not going to, or you're not going to be able to do it at all because it's too much resistance. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Total Gyms the way that I know them. You can do a lot of things with a pair of dumbbells, and if you are just starting exercise and you want to be able to have some stuff at home, what I highly recommend, like the cheapest alternatives are grab a heavy something. Doesn't even have to be a kettlebell or a dumbbell, right? But a heavy something that you can hold on to. And I would say probably 20 to 40 pounds, right? And then 2 dumbbells and make those like 5 or 10 pounds. And you can do so much. It'll blow your mind. You can do so much. Like a lot of the program actually that we have people start with if they're working out at home does only include those things. Dumbbells and a heavy something, kettlebell or whatever. Yeah. I'm strongly considering becoming a client because of your approachability and passion for your work. I've been an RN since 1999. Cool. We'd love to work with you. We don't work with, everyone, obviously, just like how we're not a good fit for everyone, everyone's not a good fit for the program. So usually what we do is we start off with what we call a one-on-one RN body transformation planning session. That's with one of our enrollment coaches, Connor, CJ, Raphael, all amazing people, all coaches as well. Like they're not salespeople. Yes, they'll go over programs if they're applicable, but they're all coaches, like all of them, or have been coaches in the past. So they're not just people that like get on and try to sell you something you don't need. The purpose of those calls are to uncover your goals. So what's your why? What do you want to achieve? What is essentially the plan of attack? So help you create certainty. And really the main thing is belief, because whether or not you were to ever work with us one-on-one coaching, we would want to make sure that you have more belief leaving the call than you had joining. And the reason for that's really simple. Belief is the start of action, right? If you don't believe, a lot of people don't even start their journey because they failed so many times. They don't believe they can. So a lot of like the beginning is like cranking that belief up. And then depending on if you need coaching, we would like go over those options, stuff like that. But sometimes honestly, people will meet with and we'll just give them resources and be like, bye, because they don't need us, right? Like somebody that's already, already doing things consistently and they just need a workout plan. That's not really what our service is. Our service is really like helping you break through a lot of, I'll say the psychology of weight loss so that you can transform your body and sustain it forever. Yes, we'll give you the structure, the plans, the nutrition, we'll change it, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's really the coaching element. It's the psychology piece. It's the help. It's the hand holding approach all the way through that we specialize in. We're not really just looking to give, workouts and nutrition. We can do that, but I feel like that undersells a lot of what we do. The Chuck Norris Total Gym commercial. I don't remember that. I don't think I ever saw it. Thanks for the info in the program, of course. And like I think there are links somewhere to schedule calls. It might be one in the description. We can talk about it. We can find one, or I can post one here. Here, I don't want to take too much time, but I'll throw this down for you. Where can I post this? All right, so I just posted a link to schedule a call if you choose to. It came from my wife, because my wife was logged into my laptop, so feel free. But with that in mind, let's read a couple more comments because I've gotten distracted. Okay. So going back to this. Also, if you guys have any comments, questions, I'd love to answer them as well. Let's see, where were we? Michelle says, oh my gosh, he's adorable. He is indeed. 91 gigs of protein, 60 ounces of water, 10 hours of sleep. Let's freaking go. Able to just enjoy life today. Feels so good to be happy. Love that. Like, it's crazy. I remember, so like we've been doing this 7-day challenge for like a while now, like once a month for a while now. And people always razz me. They always razz me in the beginning because the first goal is, hey, we're going to increase sleep. And I always get razzed, and some people are like, I already know that. Or like, oh my God, it's not, I got to start exercise. And I'm like, no, like, just hear me out. Let's sleep. And it's amazing because when we sleep, our emotional resilience goes up. So things that required willpower no longer do. And everything feels possible when you sleep. Like, as Michelle said, I think she said in a previous post, this is the thing that impacted her the most with sleep. She was sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night for years, and now she's routinely sleeping 8. She said this week she feels like 20 years younger or 30 years. It's just like, it's crazy. Something so simple, but we neglect the obvious sometimes. But it's good. So Michelle, I'm so thrilled to hear it. Tony says, love everything about this post. Those baby faces are most important reason to get up and stay healthy. Definitely. Colleen says, cute little guy. It's been a learning week for me to get back on track. My one takeaway from this week is it's okay if the scale doesn't move quickly. It's not just about numbers. It's about how you feel. A week of no joint pain and no headaches. I learned that I need to work on my protein intake and water, learn to get back, learn to let go of things and move on to better days. Definitely. I'm finally starting to move myself off the back burner and place myself in the front. Hell yeah. And there's a video too, and I'll share it. I'll share it below, on why your weight not moving is actually one of the best things that can happen to you, which I know goes against what we've been told. I can talk about it now, but I'll just share this video below if you guys want to check it out later. Also, if this is helpful, if you guys like watching, feel free to like this. It sends it out to more people in the group and alerts them that we're live. All right, so I put that there, and then let's go back to this post, and I'll read the comments again from here. Boom. I will try and continue to eat my protein each day. Some days it's hard. I'm full, don't want to eat or drink any more protein, but still try hard to. That's excellent. And like part of that, like you'll hear me say a lot that every thing we feel is a signal. So for example, Jennifer, in your case, you're talking about like it's hard to eat protein. I get that. Potentially that's a signal that the protein sources you're having need to maybe experiment with some different ones, or how you're preparing them needs to change so that it feels like less pain or less friction to be able to get those things down, less resistance. It's funny. I remember I had a discussion with a client years ago, and she said, I don't like chicken. And I'm like, fair enough. We don't have to eat chicken. And weeks went by, and I remember asking her, I said, when did you decide you didn't like chicken? She said, oh, like I used to, eat so healthy before I, stopped it, and I was eating chicken every day. I said, how were you preparing your chicken? She says, it was chicken. I'm like, well, so how'd you prepare it? She goes, well, I'd like pan fry it, and then I'd eat it. And I'm like, that's it? I'm like, did you season it? She's like, no, like I was trying to, be really good or whatever. And I'm like, no wonder you don't like chicken. I'm like, I don't like a bland ass piece of chicken either. So with her, we started looking at just simple spices like to start, and then like recipes and like marinades, and lo and behold, cheese chicken now. And like there's some variety that we can put into place. That's another thing too. Because you're starting to eat healthy or transform your body, don't stop salting your food. Like when a lot of people start to eat healthy, naturally their sodium goes down. And you need sodium, it's an essential nutrient, right? So if you're not getting enough sodium, your body will crave it. What are the things that have sodium? Potato chips and all that stuff. Instead, just salt your food. You know, you don't have to like put on a mound of salt, but like salt it. You know, to salt to taste, if you will. I feel better this week. I'm reading a comment that somebody just posted. Actually, maybe I can go over here and I can see your name. Oh, Michelle says, I feel better this week than I have in a long time. I actually recently went to the doctor because I had no energy, wasn't feeling good. She tested my labs and they were normal. I feel so much better this week. I didn't know it was no sleep and very low protein. I had no idea how little protein I was eating. Yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy how like these big levers that you'll hear me talk about a lot. Like when we coach, we always identify the biggest levers. And like, this is how I operate my life. It's how I operate my coaching, whatever it is. We always have to identify what is the easiest action that will give us the best result, right? What is the one thing that by doing it makes everything easier? Sleep, right? Increasing your protein, right? So sleep, we've already talked about, but like protein, that's a great one. It's like, instead of focusing, yes, like, okay, to lose weight, you need to eat in a caloric deficit. Okay, that's something to focus on. Okay, well, also we want to not eat a ton of carbs that are, let's say, low volume or like we'll say unhealthy, right? Well, we also want to make sure we're getting in enough micronutrients. We also want to make sure that we're getting in enough protein. We also want to make sure that we're not having, let's say, a lot of not processed food per se, but let's say low quality food. And it's like it's so easy for us to just get obsessed with like, or not obsessed, but focused on too many things. What's like the one thing that if we focus on, make the rest irrelevant? And a lot of it is protein. By increasing your protein, you no longer have to worry about being in a caloric deficit in the beginning. Why? Because when you increase protein, you're not as hungry. Okay, cool. So that's solved. All you have to focus on is that. What about not getting in as much, let's say, low quality food? Well, when you get in protein, you crave those foods less. Cool. And it's just like, if we focus on the one thing that makes the others irrelevant, or less irrelevant, more irrelevant. It's like pushing down the one domino that knocks the other ones over, right? And I'm not saying that you start there and that's where you end, but that's where you start. And it's amazing what happens too, because again, pain and pleasure. If you can create a big delta between the pain you experience and the effort you put in and the results or the pleasure that you get, your brain starts essentially rewiring to say, wow, these actions are actually really pleasurable. I want to do more. And this is how you start to get pulled towards these actions psychologically, right? You get pulled towards these actions instead of having to rely on willpower. This is powerful stuff. Missy says, I ate so much boar's chicken and turkey, I got sick of it too. Cool. So, I mean, in that context, it's like, yeah, don't eat it, maybe work it back in, but find some other things that allow you to get that protein up that you enjoy. And like a lot of the times it's just on rotation. The cool thing about it is like, you actually don't need that much, food or that many recipes to be able to, quote, eat healthy or enjoy what you're eating. Really, you only need like 12 or 14. Just like if we're talking about dinners, because like how many days needs to go by before you're ready to eat the same thing? 2 weeks? Cool. All you need is like 14 recipes. And like between chicken, steak, and fish, I mean, you got a lot of options, So cool. Cool. All right, let's read some more comments and then we'll wrap it up here. Just realized that I was I left this open. My bad. All right, let's keep going. Rebecca says you don't have to be perfect to see progress. Building healthy habits takes time, but it's not impossible. 100%. Carrie Lou says, looking back, I see that finding self-care time is so important. I struggle with that so much. I see that I want to be perfect and do everything right the first time. But even just getting water in is a great thing. I want to continue with daily goals and focusing on myself. So want to continue to eat more protein, focus on self-care. I think that's beautiful. And what an awesome belief to break or change, right? This belief that you do not have to be perfect. Like a lot of these stories we tell ourselves and a lot of the beliefs we have are just because of our environment and our input up until this point. But we can change that, which is powerful. And the more that you associate with people that hold in esteem the thing that you want to achieve, the easier you'll be pulled towards it. And this is why we have this group. You're probably familiar with the idea that birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. It's, not just a coincidence. It's because input controls our thinking, and our thinking controls our actions, and our actions lead to our results. And there is something to be said about status in a group, but that simple equation really is has the power to transform so much. But anyway, cool. I think that's that. If anyone's listening right now and you haven't already said it, I'd love to be able to know, what is the biggest thing you're taking away from this challenge? What is the thing that you're going to be able to get and carry on with, even if it's a small nugget? And here's the powerful thing. Even if you just watched this challenge and you didn't actually partake in it, you just watched it, but you took something away from it. Let's say you took no action to improve your health this week, but you just changed your input. That in itself is extremely powerful. Because again, it doesn't matter. This week doesn't matter. I know this sounds funny, but this last 7 days doesn't matter. And I know that you might say well, hold on a sec, but I put a lot of effort in and it should matter. And I hear you. And I'm not totally discrediting your effort. Obviously you put a good amount in. But there's something to be said about, it's not about these next 7 days or last 7 days. It's about the next 7 years. So whatever we do today, really it's about having the far outlook. Hey, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. I feel like one of the best side effects, if you will, it's kind of a negative connotation. One of the best results that comes from having a breakthrough is the fact that for the first time, you're able to have this peace of mind associated with this area of life. Imagine, and I talk about this sometimes with some of our clients just starting. It's imagine having that freedom to where not only are you a viewer of your life, but you're an active participant. And then in addition to that, you also have peace of mind around this thing that sometimes we're not even aware how much it takes our attention, right? It's powerful. But anyway, oh my God, we've been live for almost an hour. That's insane. How have we been live so long? Man, mine is protein level. Any questions before we wrap up? Questions about mindset, about sustainability, about protein, about carbs, about micronutrients, about supplements, about sleep, about relationships. I don't know. About how to dry out wood before you're supposed to burn it, which I found yesterday. I picked up I don't know, a 1/16 of a cord of wood, and I tried to light it because I like making fires in my house, and it was wet, so it didn't go. It didn't work. I saw one question pop in. I want to answer that. Sue says, in the past, I always worked on action, but never really changed my mindset and how I looked at myself. I ended up with all or nothing thinking. This program reminds me it's okay to be imperfect. Just do better, 100%. Because remember, the thing that always comes, if we look at this, let me share this for you. We just focus on getting a little bit better every day. The power is immense. You can't see it. Let me move myself. There we go. Within simply a year, you can be 37 times better than where you are by 1% better versus 1% worse. It's really powerful. So keep it up. You got this, Sue. Colleen says, continuing to wake up and realize I need time for me, not just for everyone. Mental clarity, positivity, living the best life I can. Hell yeah. It's good stuff, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys giving me your attention. Your attention is your most valuable asset. and I appreciate you sharing it with me on this Sunday. Hopefully this has been helpful. As we finish this challenge, my biggest word of advice is just stay active in this group. Stay active, comment, post, share. And the more that usually what I find is whether you're a client or not, the more active you are in this group, generally, the more success you have. And I believe that that can be really just rooted down to the core piece of where focus goes, energy goes, results soon follow, right? Input. When you spend time listening to these things or seeing these things or reading posts, it reconditions your mind that this thing is important to you, right? So it's good stuff. Thank you. My pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Awesome, guys. Hope you have a super awesome day. Enjoy your Sunday, and love you all. Go transform. See ya.